Good evening, everyone, and welcome in to Wildcard with Big Dave here on Walker Talks Radio. We are back from the Nationals, and some exciting news has come out concerning some new products, product lines. We're going to cover a couple of different things. I went to a card show here in Jackson, Tennessee this last Saturday and found some really good deals. So we're going to kick it off with the return of one of the biggest products of the year, possibly, and that is Topps Chrome Basketball. So, ever since Topps lost their basketball license to Panini many years ago, it seems, but I think it's somewhere around 10 years, Topps has not made Topps Chrome Basketball. It came out Monday, as a matter of fact, that Topps was releasing this year's Topps Chrome Basketball. It is not licensed. It will not have team logos, team names, or anything like that. But it does have Victor Wembanyama autographs, gold refractors, red refractors, super refractors, blue wave, blue, green refractors, regular refractors, everything else. The product was put on sale at, I believe, $259 a box and is already selling on the secondary market at about $400 to $420. So it's a huge drop. It is what is going to be coming up with Topps in the near future. As soon as they get the licenses back, starting in 2025, everything goes back to being a Topps Chrome, Bowman's Best, Bowman Chrome, other products from Topps. They have signed, Fanatics has signed some of the best athletes in the world. As a matter of fact, in 2 weeks, I believe, no, it's a week and a half, I'm sorry. Fanatics Fest in New York at the Javits Center is going on. I've got some friends that are going up that way, and they are going to get to see Derek Jeter, Victor Wembanyama, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Archie Manning, Barry Sanders, Jerry Rice. I can't remember if Caitlin Clark is there or not. It's either Caitlin Clark or Sabrina Ionescu is going to be there. So really exciting news. Topps basketball product, Topps Chrome, is back, and it's going to be awesome. I have to be a little bit redneck and get my Mountain Dew fix on. So, other than that, like I said, we're back home from the Nationals. Had a great trip. Got Pete Rose, Chevy Chase, as you all know, did a lot of trades, did some selling, did some buying. And that's going to bring us to this past Saturday. I was able to go to a local show here in Jackson, and normally the local show has just a couple of things here and there that I want to pick up. But this show was different in that we had two new dealers that were there with super high-end stuff. And so I'm going to show you a couple of things that I picked up, and it's just, some of this stuff is out of this world. I mean, it's better than anything I could have imagined or wanted. So first thing I picked up, that's one of these sold for $2,500 on Monday. It is the Victor Wembanyama White Sparkle from Select, numbered to 75. That was in part of the deal. I picked up the another Victor Wembanyama numbered to 99, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, numbered to 99 from Donruss. Another $400 or $500 card. I picked up several other things, really interesting stuff. For my personal collection, just a gold Ryan Sandberg autograph numbered to 50. And I got one of my Topps orders in. Some of you who are fans of comedy will recognize who this is. That is Shane Gillis. I think he's pretty funny. He's got a show on Netflix. He's pretty funny on some of the podcasts and everything I've listened to. Topps sold these at $129. I bought mine. Golly, it had to have been 5 or 6 months ago. And they just got him signed, got everything put in the mail. So I opened it up. That was really cool. Another little piece that I picked up for my personal collection is an old 2009, I believe, maybe 2008, Upper Deck Mystery Cuts comedian Red Skelton. So Red Skelton cut autograph numbered to 9. Just something kind of neat to pick up, fun to have. But also at that show, like I was talking about, there were these two new dealers who were there. They are here from the Jackson area, and we were able to make a deal for my buddy who I was talking about last episode, who is opening his shop. Actually, opened his shop today. I'm filming this on the 7th. Mike opened the Emporium down in Gulf Breeze, Florida. Soft opening now, grand opening. Like I said, I'll be headed down there Labor Day weekend to help them out, getting their grading process and other things going. But he opened today, and Mike sent me some cash to get some singles and things for him. I ended up spending right at maybe $2,500 total, and Mike picked up Jalen Waddle 101 rookie autograph grade PSA 10, a Wembanyama white ice PSA 10 from Prism, a Wembanyama cracked ice orange. Geez, there were so many things that he picked up, but basically it's just a lot of stuff. Much of it was basketball, football, which really sells well down in Florida. Picked those things up, mailed them off to Mike so he can have them for this weekend, hopefully. I'll let some people see some new items. Also, you can see right back here in the background that for fans of old school wrestling, you may remember the great equalizer in wrestling was the steel chair. So people used to slide a steel chair into the ring and then they'd smack somebody with it. That was how you would end up winning your match or whatever. But that one, excuse, there you go. That one right there is signed by Ric Flair. So at the top it says Nature Boy. That's Ric Flair. That says 16 time. That says WC for world champion. And down here is where he wrote his infamous woo right there. So I picked that up. You can see there. I haven't figured out how the camera works on all this stuff yet. That is I had it framed by a friend of mine. That's my Maroon 5 concert poster, limited to 50 copies, signed by Maroon 5. I've got it up for sale right now. Probably have, well, I say probably, maybe have a prospective buyer for it. I just had to get it certified by JSA and then front. So that brings us now some of the other things that are going on in the hobby. I was interested in looking. So some of you are like, well, what in the world is a repack? Well, a repack means that I go out and I buy this stack of cards, right? And I put them in little sealed envelopes, get them heat sealed and everything else, and I sell them for $50 a piece. And so people come up, you don't know what's in them. I could just say, hey, the best card in these packs is $500, and the worst card is 25. So people buy these mystery packs, or a lot of the breakers have different names for them and things like that. But as I was at the show, I noticed that some people were selling at a discount to a repacker. And a repacker is just somebody who buys stuff to then sell to people who bring together these, mystery boxes, mystery packs, mystery whatevers. And it occurred to me that people, collectors, are taking discounts off of, and it didn't really make sense to me. And then a guy that I've known for a long time who has a card shop in Murfreesboro, one of the probably top 10 card shops in the United States. It's unbelievable the things that he's done. He's come a long way from, small beginnings into an enormous card collectible, paradise pretty much. He's done very well, which I'm extremely proud of and happy for my friend who has done that. So he was on Facebook and he talked about you're selling at a discount something that you know sells for more than that. So the example is there was a repacker who walked up to a guy and he wanted a card. Card was marked at 5,000. Guy shows him, he takes his phone, he's like, look, the last one sold for 37.50. So if that's sold on eBay, you're 37.50. Let's do the quick math. 37.50 times 0.87, because you're going to lose about 13%. You're going to clear 32.62.50. Well, the guy comes up, he goes, well, yeah, I see that it sold for that. Well, where do you want to be? And the guy says, I want to be at $3,000. Well, the guy who's buying it from him may already know who the end user is going to be. And when I say end user, it's going to be the collector who wants the card for themselves to keep, hold on to, maybe sell in the future. Who knows? But the guy who wants to buy it for 3,100 knows that it just sold for 37.50. If it just sold for 37.50, it's better to find the end user yourself, because he's offering you 3,100 cold hard cash. I get it. It's $3,100 in your hand. But if you just turn around and sell it on eBay, you're going to make an extra $162.50 on what this guy is offering you. So I noticed that at the Jackson Card Show, which you wouldn't really imagine, there was a guy buying for a repacker at that show. And in doing so, he was trying to buy at an even lower percentage because he's just the middleman. So that's one of the things you have to watch out for. Watch out for the middleman, is that he was trying to buy things at 68 to 72% so that he could then turn around and sell it to the repacker who's in Memphis at 80%, and maybe a smidge better on higher end cards. Maybe he would get 85%. So some of these guys are working on small margins. So let's say this guy buys $5,000 worth of stuff at 75%. He's going to go and flip it to the next guy at 80%. He's making 5% on $5,000, which is $250. Which, don't get me wrong, if I'm walking down the street and $250 is laying on the ground, I'm going to pick it up. Like 100%, I'm going to pick it up. But the guy that he sells it to at 80% probably knows who's going to end up with the card and pay the full 100%, leaving him to make 20% on his money, which is crazy to me. But, if you're setting up at a show or you're just a collector looking to go sell your stuff, don't sell yourself short. Don't make it where you're giving people 30%, 20% off. Like, you've paid your hard earned money to go and get these cards. You yourself need to do the work to go and find who the end user is. That's not to say that there isn't a time to sell to repackers. I've got a great friend who is in Alabama, and when I have huge stacks of autographs and jerseys of just run of the mill guys, $2, $3 autographs, $1, $2, $3 jerseys, I'll call my buddy up. Hey, this is what we got. Do you want them at $1 a piece? He'll call me up. He'll say, I'll take 400 of those at $1 a piece. I meet him at a show. He hands me $400. I hand him 400 autographs and jerseys. Because the process of selling those through eBay or putting them in a dollar box at a show and just waiting for them to go away, it's too time consuming. So is there a time to sell to a repacker or someone who is in that business? But it's not for big cards. So let's just say, I'll give you all a prime example. I bought some 68 Topps baseball game singles. Nothing, you know, nothing big here. There's a Joe Torre, Rusty Staub, some other, just some stuff. I'll probably end up selling those to a buddy of mine at a buck or two a piece because I don't really have a use for them and can't really think of anybody else that can except for him. He'll probably put them together in a set or something like that. So, yeah, I'll take 60%, 70% of what those are selling for because I don't have the time to then put into it. But then you get a card like this Calvin Johnson autograph, Hall of Fame inscribed, PSA DNA, everything certified. Am I going to take 70% of what that card sells for? No way. Because somebody's going to eventually want it. And when they buy it, it'll be for the price that I want to sell it for. I don't have to discount that. That's not something that I have to do. Excuse me. I had a sinus infection the past week. So when you're going to sell something in a show, do yourself a favor, research what they last sold for, find the person that is going to be the last person to have the card for a while, sell it to them, take a 10% discount. Don't take 20, don't take 30, don't get desperate and just sell it to the first person that comes along. Make the cards and everything else work for you for the money that you've put into it. Don't just sell it to be selling it. So, yeah, that was the card show here in Jackson on Saturday. I guess the other last thing I'll talk about, I got onto Fanatics Live, one of the breaking sites. A buddy of mine, Eric from Texas, he runs Big Texas Breaks, and I went into his room. He was breaking, what was it? Optic football. Optic football. Well, that brings us to another thing I do need to talk about. If you haven't heard already, Panini put out Optic football first off the line cases, and these cases were turning out between 22 to 26 downtown cards each. And it wasn't just the base downtown. There were the golds, the black Pandoras, the greens, one of ones, and the base. So basically, a case like that has 26 of the type of cards that you're only supposed to get one per case was turning out about 26. So Panini has addressed this. They said that there was a collation problem within the line, so on and so forth. But it just puts another black eye on Panini, because that if they're in there, that means they're not somewhere else. Or if they're in there and they are in everything else, it means that they've been produced more than they have been in the past. So for some of you listening who don't know what a downtown card is, it's just a very hard to get insert of some of the best players in football. You've got Mahomes, you've got Rodgers, you've got Anthony Richardson, you've got Will Levis, you have CJ Stroud, you have, legends like Joe Namath, John Elway, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, people like that they all have these downtown cards and they're really nice. And if you're lucky, like the worst downtown cards you can get are still normally $100 to $200. High end, CJ Stroud, Mahomes, things like that can reach into the upper thousands, and if graded correctly, can reach into the tens of thousands of dollars. But with that being said, on the whole, Panini screw up with that is that my buddy Eric was breaking on Fanatics Live, which I really liked it. It was easy to get into breaks. It was easy to watch things get opened, to see what the product is like, to see if it's something that I want to buy singles of. Eric, like I said, with Big Texas Breaks, he does some of the repacks and stuff. I won one last night, as a matter of fact. It was like a Will Levis that they only gave out at the rookie premiere photo shoot, where it's the first time to wear their jerseys and stuff. So I won that. It wasn't like the greatest card in the world, but I didn't pay but maybe $10 or $12 per spot. So I was pretty happy with that. He is breaking in football. I'm sure that he will have plenty of other stuff. He'll definitely have top scroll basketball, doing half case and case breaks. So if you get a chance, tune in to Fanatics Live. If you don't have username or if you're not already registered, let me know. I can send you a code and get you a free $25 on the app where you can buy into a break or you can buy, a single pack of something or whatever 25 bucks will get you. I'll send you the code so that we can get you on there so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And if you choose to, you can go to Big Texas Breaks. Like I said, it's my buddy Eric. He is really good about telling what's in the product. Is it worth it to get in for whatever team that you may want? If things are slow, he'll tell you, hey, I'll give you a 5, $10 off of this certain team if you'll go ahead and take it. That way we can break the product. So just may want to swing by and give him a chance. Future plans: the 17th, I'll be in Memphis for the Bartlett Ball Card Show. I'll be meeting Jay Russ, who was here with us for the very first show that we did. He'll be at the table. We're going to look over things for grading, do a submission with Nash Cards of Memphis. They're right off of Highway 64. They do the PSA submissions at $19 a piece. So I want to say I have maybe 20 cards to go in. I think it's right around 20. So it'll be about a $400 grading order. We'll get those put in. Jamie's got some other cards that I'm going to give him to evaluate, get prepped for grading, just wiping down the surface to make sure there's no fingerprints or anything like that on it. He'll check the corners, the edges, the surface, make sure we're good to go. And we'll get the next submission in probably 2 weeks after that. But with that said, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to Walker Talks Radio. Marco and the Fish were on just the other day talking about the trade deadline with Major League Baseball. All of that relates to what I'm doing on the hobby side, making sure that I'm paying attention to what team is going to make a run for the World Series, see if there are any potential players that I want to invest in prior to that happening. And then if they do win the World Series, I just turn around and flip them the day after, put them on eBay, sell them for, some sort of a profit. So right now, I'm thinking maybe the Dodgers, Yankees, a couple of other teams. I'm sure that the Fish would love for me to say the Padres, but I just don't see it happening. But yeah, so check that out. Like I said, like, subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in to Wild Cards with Big Dave here on Walker Talks Radio, and y'all have a great night.